Hello, my name is Adam Ahmad, and I'm the managing director of HF Diamonds. And we have been present in Antwerp since my grandfather came in the early 1970s. We were based originally, of course, in Africa, buying diamonds, and then my grandfather decided he would need to explore the Belgian market, potentially to open an office here, and that was the beginning of our history, if you want, of Belgium. When it comes to the question of the rarity of diamonds, the truth is that there's actually a misconception. Basically, diamonds are actually rare, quote unquote rare. The reason for this rarity, of course, is that they are a natural made phenomenon by the earth. They are produced in the mantle of the earth. And the reason they are produced down there is because of the extreme conditions required to form the crystallization of a diamond, which includes extremely high pressure and extremely high amounts of temperature. So they are formed, the estimation is in the billions of years. And the way they come to the earth is through volcanic explosions that carry the diamond all the way up. When it comes to the rarity of diamonds, if you actually count the amount of gemstone of diamonds of circulation in the world today, you will feel that actually it's not so rare. But the reason we attach the rarity of diamonds to diamonds is because of how expensive and special these gemstones are and the chemical components that make a diamond what a diamond is. Diamonds are found, well, currently all around the world. You have deposits which we know of in Venezuela and Brazil, that's South America. To cover North America, we have Canada. Many countries in Africa, such as Guinea, Sierra Leone, Liberia. This is in West Africa. Then you have Angola, Democratic Republic of Congo, South Africa, Botswana. Going as far as India in the Asian subcontinent and all the way down to Australia. And of course, Russia, which is emerging as a big producer of diamonds. Not really emerging because it's already established, but so all around the world actually, all around the world. So the reason that diamonds are so expensive are actually a few things. Some of it has to do with what I explained in the previous question. Diamonds, the word diamonds comes from the Greek word adamas, which literally means unbreakable. So diamonds are factually the hardest material known to man. They are extremely scratch resistant and extremely hard. This is the first thing that makes them so rare. The second thing, which is actually less known to man, is that diamonds are 100 times more thermally conductive than copper. No one knows about this. For this reason, many low-quality diamonds, which we call in the industry brut, are used for industrial manufacturing, industrial purposes, because of their durability and their ability to hold heat. So these are actually the two main factors. So diamonds are formed in the mantle of the earth. So we are going extremely close to the core, of course, where there's an extremely high concentration of pressure as well as temperature. There's a misconception that diamonds form as a result of coal, which through this high pressure and temperature turns into diamond. This is not true. Diamonds are 100% carbon, and through the high pressure and temperature in the earth, the crystallization of the carbon turns into diamond. A lot of the diamonds, once they come up as a result of volcanic explosions, will actually get completely destroyed. So you have to keep in mind that the diamonds that we see when we mine them are a true miracle of Earth, because they have managed to stay intact through all of the procedure of surfacing up to the Earth. Just as I said in the previous question, you have diamonds that are worth $50 per carat, diamonds that are worth millions of dollars. I can, and I guarantee you this will work, I can put some very poor quality rough diamonds in the middle of the street and people will walk by them and not even know it's diamonds. They will just think it's stone. So that question is extremely wide-ranging. You have white stone, you have yellow stone, fancy colors, pinks and blues. So it's an extremely wide range. And people sometimes forget this because they always attach diamonds to beauty and the shining thing that you see on your hand, but it's not really the case. The evaluation of a rough diamond comes back actually to the basic concept of diamond, which is the 4 C's, which is carat, color, clarity, and cut. These 4 C's are, carat is the weight, the color is obviously the color, the clarity measures the amount of impurities in the stone, and the cut is the way that it's polished. Once you polish it, you can do it with good symmetry or excellent symmetry. These things affect the price. When we are valuing the rough diamonds, you have diamonds that are worth $50 per carat, and you have diamonds that are worth millions of dollars per carat. So you tend to analyze it based on the manufacturing potential of it, which means you measure how much polished diamond you are able to get from this rough and the value of that polished diamond. And that's the way to ultimately measure the price of the rough. The security question is actually extremely complex because when we talk about the diamond industry as a whole, you have to go from the start to the finish. So the start is obviously the mines. The mines in general are owned by mining companies, which of course provide their own security to the mines. Now, like every industry in the world, crime exists. Crime is never ending, so there's many people who will illegally mine by themselves. They are not provided any security, of course. And because of diamonds being so expensive, the security procedure for everything is extremely controlled, and any transportation of diamonds, for example, from the airports to here, is with armored vehicles such as brakes and police escorts and everything. Even within the office, you need certain parameters which don't exist in other companies, just in order for the insurance to agree to insure you. For example, once you enter the office, there needs to be from the main door to the second door and a separation. And the second door can only be opened once the first door is closed, so you can identify who has entered. And of course, we continue to alarm systems and all these kind of things. The majority of the exposure that came as a result of this started with the movie Blood Diamond, which starred with Leonardo DiCaprio, of course. The way the diamond industry legitimizes and guarantees its lack of affiliation with conflict diamonds is as a result of something which we call the Kimberley process. The Kimberley process is an organization that determines whether or not the diamonds have come as a result of a conflict-free zone. And so there are certain countries today, such as the Central African Republic, which is currently embroiled in a civil war. And so the Kimberley process, as a result of this, will not provide the Central African Republic with a certification of the Kimberley process. The reason diamonds are so special has to do with its strength. Actually, if you look at it historically, diamonds only really came into the forefront in the last 100 years. Before that, if you look at kings, emperors throughout history, they always had rubies, emeralds, sapphires. It was very rare for them to be associated with wearing a diamond. When De Beers started diamonds, mining diamonds in the early 1900s, I believe, they went with a massive advertising campaign to expose to the world and to introduce to the world what is a diamond. And the first movie, if you want, that really brought it through was the 1953 movie of Marilyn Monroe, Diamonds Are a Woman's Best Friend, I think the name was called. And that is when people's exposure really opened up to what is a diamond. So when we say fancy colors in the diamond business, what that means is basically you have a standard color spectrum from D to M, let's say, but in essence actually it's D to Z, but you just follow the alphabet. D being the most white, and Z being, the more you go along the alphabet, the yellower the stone becomes. After Z, you have certain parameters which we start to call fancy color diamonds. It would be faint yellow, light yellow, fancy light yellow, fancy yellow, intense yellow, and ultimately the strongest concentration of saturation is called vivid. Vivid yellow, vivid pink. And we have obviously a wide range of colors as well: pinks, blues, oranges, purple, green. The most expensive by far is the most rare, and that is red diamond. So if you have any red diamond, please. Once I take my diamonds from the AWDC, which is the diamond office, the first thing is that I analyze the goods. Because of the wide range that I have, some of it is assorted and sold again wholesale to clients. Most of it is in trading. The higher value diamonds, which I feel might be rewarding for manufacturing and polishing, I will send to the polisher for him to polish, and after I will certify the stone with gemological labs such as GIA in America or HRD in Antwerp, and I will sell the polish also wholesale. So it's really relative. There isn't one clear answer to that because every value I do with it something different.